Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be diving into 𝗲𝗀 and specifically the price action of MTV. We're going to have a look at the weekly chart, the daily chart and the hourly and take a look at how the 𝗲𝗢.io dashboard is not indicating many problems here for 𝗲𝗀. As we get into this video guys, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here. Right, with that said done out of the way, let's dive into this technical analysis for 𝗲𝗀. We're going to start with the weekly chart, like you can see in front of you guys. Good motion to the upside recently. We can see a good recovery after a pullback that we had down here, with a good accumulation zone at the bottom. We're about 368% from the current position up to where we think the technicals are likely to go at a peak, which would be 9.2 cent. With that being said though, I do see this thing potentially mooning much higher than that, up towards that kind of 30 cent area. Ultimately, with 𝗲𝗀, there's a very small circulating supply of about 3 billion. And out of that 3 billion, over 2 billion of it is currently staked and delegated. So there's already a squeeze on the supply. It's quite heavy, and it would not take a lot of money to see this this potential project moon to the upside very, very quickly. So overall, everything's looking pretty good on the weekly chart. We also know the tokenomics are looking pretty good as well. And we now just need to see, some things get built on the ecosystem, some marketing behind it, and really just to start progressing some of the fantastic things that the team are working on. Ultimately, though, I do think everything's lining up nicely for a push to the upside, and we are going to continue the kind of price discovery that we've seen so far. We can see that there was a good motion here, right? This high and this low is indicating the 9.2 cent, with the current performance of this high and this low actually indicating 7.2. That being said, though, I think we're blasting on nicely to the upside, and we should see good price discovery in the near future. We can see that we are overbought. This is not really a concern on the weekly chart. We can be up here for quite a few months without doing too much to worry about, really. But we will eventually have a bear market. We will eventually pull back, and we will basically be able to accumulate during the bear market a pretty good position with a 𝗲𝗀 as well. So overall, nothing really to majorly report on this weekly chart. So everything's lining up nicely. The structure's pretty good, and it looks like we probably will be going to all-time highs soon. When we actually jump down into our daily view, this is again highlights some of those fantastic things that have been going on recently. We can see that we are just coming out of the oversold area on the chart. Okay, we got down as low as 1.2. We are looking to push the daily chart back to the upside on the stochastic RSI. Overall, there was a bit of a battle going on. Many people would remember that this was down here was our accumulation zone. This is where we were wicking into it or spending a couple of days just at the top here, which allowed us to buy significant portions of MTV before we went and started to move to the upside. We recently had this area here. Again, this was an area where we were trying to battle through a 618.702.786 scenario. We did actually go above there, finding the resistance at 1.1 cent, and then we wicked back into here for another moment of dollar cost average opportunity. We then started to push up to the main 618 area where we found resistance. 702, we went straight past it and went straight past the 786. We actually went up and set a new high here and then came down a little bit lower. Okay, we actually back tested on our 786 and this became an area of support with a few wicks coming in again for the dollar cost averaging better positions. We now see a good push back to the upside, slightly pulling back now, but confirming this area here, the previous high of 1.8 cent as a support line. Okay, so all of that kind of work is working quite well for us. We're having a small pullback today so far, but we've got huge amounts of growth on our daily stochastic that is actually indicating we are more than likely actually going to be going up to all-time highs. Okay, that comes in at 2.8 cent. If we actually shoot back here, you can see it comes in just up here at a high of 2.2. So again, I think we actually did just come in a little bit higher than that recently, coming in at 2.4. So we are targeting this 2.8 cent, which is a 1.618 area. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, and we're looking to see if that can happen within the next few days or so. It looks like we have the motion now to be able to do so, and we'll get into some of the other things on the smaller time frames in a moment. Okay, so overall the structure on this daily chart is very good. We can see a good recovery out of our correction. We set all-time high, and now we're looking to go ahead and set a new all-time high as well for 𝗕𝗪𝗏. It's at this point that we will jump into the advice.io dashboard and take a look at the underlying data for 𝗕𝗪𝗏. For those who do not know, advice.io uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to help us understand the underlying value of a cryptocurrency. In this particular case, we're taking a look at 𝗕𝗪𝗏, MTV, and we can see that it's an A3 cryptocurrency rating overall. Okay, so that's actually very good. It's the third best that you can be up in the platform here. So overall, not a problem from an overall perspective. But advice does actually let us go down a little bit lower. We can see here that you have an 𝗕𝗓𝗪 ratio indicating an A2 rating. 𝗕𝗓𝗪 being your liquidity and A2 being no problem. So ultimately pretty good liquidity here for MTV, so nothing of concern there. We can take a look at the Fear and Greed Index specific to 𝗕𝗪𝗏, and we're an A2 cryptocurrency, meaning that there's quite a bit of greed in the space for 𝗕𝗪𝗏. So you'll see experienced traders taking profits, but this is also where you'll start seeing the FOMO and retail investors really piling into a cryptocurrency. So again, pretty good to see that we are pretty well rated for a Fear and Greed Index. The Sharpe ratio is an A2 rating, so again, the Sharpe ratio is your risk reward ratio, and we're well above the 50-day average, and there's very little to be concerned with there. We can see the moving averages an A2, so again, no problem with your moving averages, and the profitability and the fact that we're in a bull run and we have seen significant growth so far. It's an A1 cryptocurrency rating, basically meaning that the best it can be. It's the best profitability return on investment that this platform can provide. Overall, nothing major to kind of issue us, warning-wise for 𝗕𝗪𝗏. The AI machine learning hasn't indicated that there's anything wrong with the underlying data for MTV, so which is positive news. It means that everything looks like it's going to be moving ahead as intended. So on this daily chart, we can see we've got good push to the upside. We're low on the stochastic. We've got good underlying data. But what about our hourly? If we jump into our hourly chart, we can take a look at what's been going on most recently. Now, there's a couple of things going on here. And the things that I want to talk about, one is this was hit our accumulation zone just down here. Okay, and I said that the first part of this area of our yellow box was not just accumulation, but if we were to go down into the lower parts here, then this would be our kind of major accumulation, right? So we'd be looking for, buying maybe potentially millions if we were to drop down below 1.5, for example. Now, there was a couple of wicks that actually did this. So there's opportunities to basically dollar cost average some very good positions at that point. Otherwise, just kind of, fill the bag at this one. Otherwise, the dollar cost average strategy works well. Like, we can continue to buy up all the dips that we see here. And we have found a little bit of resistance most recently just up here, coming in around that 1.9 to 2 cent area. Okay, so that's kind of where we're trading between now, trading sideways. But we can also note that our stochastic is now right down at the lower side and oversold. We can push back now to the upside with our stochastic, where we are targeting to move up significantly, right? So what we want to be doing here is now taking out some of these resistance lines, working our way through and trying to get to our 2.8 cent line up the top here. This is our 1.618 area, and this blue line is the first target that we have set out for 𝗕𝗪𝗏. So ultimately, there's a fair bit of work to get up to there. There's basically 4 pieces of resistance according to where we have been previously. So the first one that we are finding just up here would come in at 2.1, but I think we have enough momentum to push straight through 2.1. So then we'll just be looking at where we were previously with these high points, and hopefully getting enough momentum behind us to go to 2.8 cent and actually again pull back from there and confirm the previous high as a support line. So ultimately, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for very good sentiment. We can see that at the moment, as they trade sideways here, the volume's completely dropped off. So right now, what we want to do is actually increase the volume as we increase the price and increase that stochastic. Everything would be in the right direction, in the right favor, to allow us to actually go after that 2.8. So we have a good shot at it, but we do need to see that sentiment continue. We need to see everything kind of come through nicely together in order to allow us to actually hit that level. But I am super bullish on this one. I think this project has got a lot of potential to it. It's a micro cap coin, so it is more volatile than your kind of larger cap coins. But with that being said, it has so much potential. I think this is going to be a fantastic project that is going to see a lot of investors very, very well off. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.